Your voice, your vote. The race for Michigan's open U.S. Senate seat took a major turn this weekend. Mallory McMorrow is now out of the race. It raises a number of questions, including what happens if you've already cast your absentee ballot. 13 on your sides, Peter Elliott spoke with a county clerk to learn more. Peter.
Lauren, just because Mallory McMorrow dropped out of the race doesn't mean her name is dropping off the ballot. Here in Kent County, they were printed in early June. That's to give enough time for overseas and absentee voters. But that lead time doesn't account for candidates changing their mind late in the game.
A candidate who is filed remains a candidate.
Even if you've already said this.
I'm announcing that I am suspending my campaign for United States Senate.
Mallory McMorrow's run for Senate lives on, with her name still on the ballot.
Life happens. Things happen. Circumstances change. And that does impact one's ability or interest in serving.
But now, what changes for voters with less than 4 weeks to go until primary day?
You have options, and your votes will count.
Lisa Posthumous Lyons is the clerk in Kent County, where absentee ballots have already been distributed.
126,000 of our voters have ballots in their hands, and just over 10,000 of them have already voted their ballot and they've already turned them in.
In case you voted for someone who has dropped out or you've changed your mind, here's what you can do.
You have until the second Friday before the election. So in this primary election, it's July 24th. You have up until that time to contact your local clerk to spoil your ballot and be issued a new one.
Lyons says the process is simple.
Your request to spoil a ballot has to be in writing. It has to be signed by the voter. And then the clerk will then take that ballot that was already returned. They will spoil it and mark it as such in our voter file.
Voters can choose to request a new absentee ballot or decide to vote in person.
The biggest time what we see is when ballots get disqualified is if they have crossed party lines in the primary election. You pick a party and you stay in that lane all the way through the partisan section.
That's something the ballot tabulator catches during in-person voting, but it can be a problem for absentees.
We like to make sure our voters are educated on that going into the poll process.
McMorrow isn't the only candidate to have dropped out this late in the game. Last month, Aric Nesbitt backed out of his Republican bid for governor. His name will also appear on the ballot. Lyons says it's the first time in her nearly 10 years in office that she has seen candidates from both major political parties suspend campaigns for a top-of-the-ticket race in the same election. Lauren?